Hi. Um, this little video is really just a demonstration of how to use PixInsight. And you'll see on the screen there the picture of the Horsehead Nebula. And that was a picture that I took a couple of months ago. And of course, I just want to run through what I had to do in order to get there. Now, I'm assuming a number of things have happened. First thing, that I have stacked the light frames that I gathered from my astrophotography session, and I stacked about 30. So there's about an hour and a half worth of exposure in this. So the first thing we obviously want to do is to go to the place where we can find those files and open them up. So there we are. We've got, nicely opens up as 3 separate files. The first one there will be, I suppose it's the, oh yeah, let's stretch it first so we can see what's actually in it. Of course, they're dark, so we really need to stretch to see what's inside these black boxes. The first one is artifacts that's been identified in the stacking process. So let's just have a look at that. Okay. Yeah, it's just rubbish. Basically, things that are oddities are artifacts. So we want really just to get rid of that. No use to us whatsoever. Yeah, we'll close that box. The second one, again, in the process of stacking, we've obviously ended up, because of the dithering of frames, we've ended up with having an area to the side which has kind of less exposure. So we need to, again, just get rid of that. It's no use to us. But it's helpful in later on when we decide to do the cropping. Okay, so we've come to our main frame, our main light frame. And as you see, I've stretched that. It's a green colour, simply, again, because of the filters we're using. So I just want to, instead of stretching it evenly across all the colours, just get a more natural look. So let's just untether that and stretch it, and there it is. That's what it would be looking like at the moment. Of course, I don't like it round this way, so I want to turn that around in a minute. But first of all, before we do that, I think we could crop it. We had an idea from that second frame that round the top edge and the one to the right hand side, we really is lighter than the rest. So let's just crop it there using dynamic crop, and that'll create a box. Yeah, roughly. I mean, it doesn't really need to be too exact. It's just as long as we can get rid of those edges, which are really going to throw things out. Okay, and once we're happy with that, I'm going to click on the little triangle down here just to execute. And okay. Yep, go on. Let's get rid of it. Yep, very quickly done. Okay, let's see if we can sort out the geometry of this. I don't know, it plays in my head that it's round the wrong way. So all we're doing here is really rotating the image. Let's find it. Yeah. Take it anti-clockwise, 90 degrees, I think. Again, another quick and easy process. Yeah, okay. Fabulous. Okay, if we look into this background, you can see it's not bad. Not too noisy. Although these stars are not great, bit bloated. They could do with just a wee bit correction, and I'm going to use another program here that is to correct the gradient that we can find in here. So it's a very straightforward process. It does it automatically. There are a number of different programs within PixInsight where you can correct gradient, but this one is by far the easiest. It's gradient corrector. So just I'm going to click on this little triangle at the corner, drag it onto the picture to say, yep, go ahead and do that. And it will go and have a go through its procedure. It's actually not very long to do this. Not a few seconds. Yep, there we go. And it's done. Now, sometimes you're not immediately seeing what's happened, but let me just, if I can do this, just do a before and after. And that helps to see it. There we go. Oh, too far now. Click back the way. Yeah. Okay. So let's do a kind of before and after again. There we are. It's the after. You can see it's much smoother across the whole frame now that that's been completed. Okay, so we've connected the gradient, and now we need to look at some of the other functions. Now that that's completed, I think we want to look at the colour and just check it against the kind of known database of colour for this subject matter. I'm going to use a thing called photometric colour calibration. And so again, it's going to look up the database of what the Horsehead Nebula should look like, its colouring and so on, and make the relevant adjustment to that. However, I'm going to come across a problem when I do it. Yeah, there it goes. It failed. And one of the reasons that it failed is that it actually doesn't know what the subject is. And so what we really need to do before we're able to move ahead with this is to engage another function, which is to plate solve the image. And in plate solving it, then it will automatically embed the coordinates and the details of the image so that this calibration of colour can actually take place. So let's do that. It takes no more than a few seconds to do it. It's already populated with an idea of where I am in the world and my telescope and so on details. It just needs to be pretty approximate, and off it will go and check it out. It's just normal plate solving kind of process. And yeah, there it goes. Yep, completed. Okay, so that's now done, and that'll allow us to go back to our photometric colour calibration. Okay, let's just again pull that over. Hopefully this time it will all just work without any problems. And yeah, immediately off it goes and does its business. Okay, it's going to generate some charts and graphs and all the rest of it. Yeah, that is what it is seeing. That's what those graphs mean. So we can just get rid of those, and it's giving you back the original image as it's unstretched. So we actually just need to stretch it back out again so we can see now what's there. Yeah, let's just minimize those icons, take a wee bit of space, and stretch. Yeah, okay. So it's made some subtle changes to it, but everything is correct. Okay, what's the next thing? Well, hopefully the next thing I think is to look at these stars. The stars are a bit bloated. They're not entirely correct. So I want to use a program that I bought in to PixInsight, and this is Blur Exterminator. A wonderful program, not least because it can actually sort all these stars without any problem. It's got a little option here which is correct only, and basically it's going to go and look at the stars and see how we can change them for the better. So click on it and off it goes, and we'll set that running. But I'll speed this part up because it actually does take a wee bit of time to do it. Okay, that's it completed, and we can have a wee look in at it and see what it's done. And I think you'll see that the stars have improved significantly. Again, it's probably best to do this as a before and after. The before, yeah, and we go back, see, bloated, not quite round. And here is the after. Yeah, let's just put that back in. Yeah, much tighter, much neater. Stars, fantastic. Okay, now the next thing we'll be looking at this noise in the background. You can see the mottled pattern, and yeah, it's definitely in need of some smoothing out. And again, I'm going to use another program that's been bought in for that very purpose, which is strangely called Noise Exterminator. Let's go to our installed processes. Noise Exterminator, there we are. I'm just going to use the default issues and patterns here. So let's just pull that across and get that started. Again, like Blur Exterminator, sometimes it takes a little while to go through the processing. So again, I'll speed that up. Okay, off we go. Yeah, there we go. And there is the after. It's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Beautifully smoothed out. Again, just to do a before and an after, so you can see it. Yeah, before, yeah, and then after. Beautiful. It really does clean it up a whole lot, and it's of course done that across the whole frame here. Okay, we've been working in the linear kind of way at the moment with kind of auto stretching in the background. So now I think it is time to stretch the image and to begin to play with it in some of the other aspects, which are kind of non-linear. And we can use curves and so on for this purpose. Anyway, let's just find our histogram. Yeah, there we go. So the easiest way is just using the auto stretch function and bringing that onto histogram transformation, just so that we can actually copy the auto stretch parameters, and we hit that and just execute it, and hopefully, yeah, that will have stretched it. Of course, it's now double stretched, which is why it's white. So we need to go back and just reset our stretch function there. So now it's out of the linear phase, and we can now do a number of other things to it. Now, we really don't want to be bothered with the stars. If you're going to start doing curves and doing other things to this picture, it's quite good if we can just separate out the stars from the background, and we can treat those separately. So I'm going to use yet another exterminator program that has been integrated here, and that's Star Exterminator. And like the other two, it does take a little bit of time just to work its way through the process. So I'm really just taking it all the defaults, and I'll get it running, and then I'll fast forward it again. Okay, so that's us back, and as you can see, we now have two frames, one with the stars only and the other with the kind of nebula behind it. So let's just see if we can move these stars out the way so that we can begin to play with the nebula and make some adjustment to that. Yeah, let's just, got to clear up the space a little bit. Let's just make that smaller and put it to the right-hand side. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is just to add a little bit of boost to the luminance and to bring a bit of contrast in. And so we're going to be using our curves function for that. So we just want to, I'm just using it in RGB and we'll just create an S curve here. So there's a little bit of playing about with it. I'm going to try and bring down that the darks a bit more. You can see that brings in the more contrast to the picture. You can certainly mess about with this and play with it until it looks good to you. Best idea is just to make small adjustments and then to go back, and you can apply it again, iteratively until you get exactly what you want. But let's just fast forward a bit to see where we end up getting to with this. Okay, I think that's just about there. I think we want to do a wee bit of saturation increase here, just to give a little boost up on those colours, just to make them pop a little bit. And I think that's looking pretty reasonable there as well. Yeah, reasonable, don't overdo it. Now, of course, in the Horsehead Nebula, you've got this very dark structure. And so we do have a module in here, or a process, where we can enhance dark structures in particular, just to help them to stand out a little bit more prominently. So let's just find that little script that's in there. Yeah, there it is. Okay, it's a very simple little thing. Just kind of makes the blacks a bit blacker. There, okay, very quickly. Yeah, it goes through it. Yeah, doesn't take too long. Great, if that's finished. Now let's just take that away and have a closer look. Yeah, that really does make a difference. Again, let's just do a wee bit before and after. Oh, just too much. Okay. Let's do it before. Yeah, okay. It's black, but it's that grey sheen to it. And then after, yeah, much blacker, much more defined. Fantastic. Okay. So at the moment, I think we just want to finish what we're doing there with the nebula and start to think about putting our stars back together with it. And in this case, we're going to use, again, another process in here called Pixel Math. And it's quite a straightforward program, this. Basically, we're going to just add in these two images together. And we're going to use it says Pixel Math because it's a bit of an equation. Yeah, I'm going to look at the two images that I have. And there we have one. And let's find the end of that string and do a plus, because we just simply want to add them together. And so plus, and then add in the other and say execute. And hey presto, yeah, what's going to happen? Yeah, they've combined the two. In fact, we've got one with the nebula just left as it is, and the other with the stars now included. Okay, right, we're really on to the finishing part of this, a bit of clean up and deciding what we want to do to finish. I think for me, I think I want to go back to that Blur Exterminator program. Yeah, the first time we used it for simply doing correction of the stars, but now we can actually look at some of the finer detail and see if we can sharpen that up a little bit. Because in here there's lots of very good detail. Look at this corner down here. If I can just zoom in, and you can see that there's those kind of waves and folds, and it would be good to be able to use our program to deal with that. Again, I'll speed this up just a little bit. Yeah, let's get it going, and then it's finished, and we can have a look at it. Okay, it has made an improvement, not huge perhaps, but again, so let's do a wee bit before and after so you can at least visualize the detail difference. Okay, let's just take it back and then check it out. Yeah, it's quite subtle, but actually overall it really helps to bring out that detail. And just again, let's have a quick look. Yeah, before and after. Yeah, great. Okay, I think we're really now in the final phase of just thinking about framing our picture and making the adjustments we want to do to that. Okay, so let me just fast forward it slightly from this point. Okay, so let's go back to original picture now. It's been processed, and I think I would really like to just kind of keep this section a bit zoomed in, a bit cropped into it. And again, I'm using dynamic crop program for that. And yeah, I think it retains the kind of central part of the image that I'm interested in and framed it the way that I want. So I think we've kind of gone through the various processes. We could have spent a whole lot of time refining and doing additional processes. But for me here, this is where I just want to stop, I think, at the moment. Yeah, we would, of course, just save our image as a JPEG or as a TIFF, preferably as a TIFF since it's higher quality. Thank you for watching this wee insight into the program PixInsight and some additional related programs. Okay, bye just now.